what's up, guys? Welcome to another edition of Nerdy in Many Ways, and today is September 21st, and so you know what that means? It is Batman Day. And of course, him being my favorite by far comic book character of all time, I figured I'd just take a little moment to show you guys a little bit of my Batman collection, as well as give a brief review of one of the most popular Batman storylines ever told, that being The Long Halloween. So with that, I'll show you my collection first, and I'll move on to the review. And so to start off with my collection, I have a figure of the Dark Knight riding the Tumbler Cycle, I guess it's called. I got this when the Dark Knight first released, and I just recently found it again. Really cool figure. Then I have, of course, Armored Batman from Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. I'll work my way around my microphone here. And what's cool is he has metal batarangs, and so I thought that was a really cool touch for this figure. It's from Beast Kingdom. Got it recently. Really happy with this. And this next one that I have is a small figure, which is based off of the design for Arkham City, which is a fantastic Batman video game, probably the best Batman video game ever made. A little tiny version of the Batman v Superman Batmobile. This is probably the crown of my collection. This is Batman v Superman Mafex. It's just a beautifully designed figure. I absolutely love it. Really like that. This next one is my own custom Lego Batmobile. Actually, kind of a part of a Lego set that was based off of the Court of Owls storyline. But I altered it with some different pieces, and I really like how it turned out. Speaking of the Court of Owls Batman storyline Lego sets, this is part of them, except for, of course, the one in the middle being from Arkham Knight. And the one on the right, that's from Justice League, the Tactical Armor Lego minifigure. And, of course, right here we also have Ben Affleck's Batman with the Tactical Armor. I got that at Toys R Us. This is a project I did. It's based off of Jim Lee's Batman art. Over here we got, of course, the Batman v Superman promo posters, which I really like. I think they were really well done. And if you guys ever saw my first ever video on this channel, you will have seen me creating this cowl and the process that I went through to make it, and I was really happy with that as well. So yeah, that's my Batman collection, all my different figures, posters, and even things that I've made up here with my Batman cowl. If you didn't see it in my first video, definitely go check it out. But now I'm going to be moving on to the review that I mentioned I'll be doing at the beginning of the video. Now, I'm not really going to go in depth much at all into the story. I'm just going to be talking about my thoughts on it. And again, it's like a little bit of spoilers. Some things I'm going to mention are in the comic book. So if you have not read it yet, or have not even really learned the story of The Long Halloween, definitely go read it. I highly recommend it. Really well done. And so yeah, go do that. Now, with this comic book, again, it's one of the best Batman stories ever told. Obviously. With that being said, I do have a couple of gripes with it. Now, this is just me being a little bit nitpicky, right? And the first part is that a little bugs me is the art. As an artist, I mean, I can be kind of nitpicky about comic book art, right? I tend to lean more towards Jim Lee or Lee Bermejo style, right? But I'm not a huge fan of the art in this comic, and that's not to say that it's not well done. It's just not necessarily my taste. I'm not a huge fan of the long ears for Batman or the odd, purple costume for Catwoman. But again, that's not for everybody. And so I'm just one of those people that doesn't necessarily like it, but doesn't mean it's not good. Again, my opinion does not mean like, oh, this is terrible, and it means it's terrible for everybody. No, it's not how it is. That's just me. And although it's a great story, mainly, and it features a lot of great characters from Batman lore. I mean, you got a lot of great villains involved in there. You got the Joker, you have Poison Ivy in there a little bit, you have the Riddler, and I mean, and even Calendar Man is a huge part of the story. And so I love how they incorporated all these different characters into this story and made it so that you're just in the world of Gotham. There's no real introductory thing to them. It's just, oh yeah, there's this guy, and there's this villain over here, and they're involved. And so you feel like you're just completely immersed into the world. My one small gripe, and again, I still love the comic. It's a great storyline, fantastic storyline, but I do have a small gripe with one of the villains, and that is Two-Face. I have a small gripe with how they handled that character, Harvey Dent / Two-Face. Now, his origins, of course, with the acid in the courtroom are very comic book accurate. I mean, obviously it's a comic book itself, but according to other different origins, that's how we tend to think of Harvey Dent becoming Two-Face, because of acid thrown at him in the courtroom. Now, my main thing about it, though, is that it's speculated that Harvey Dent is one of the holiday killers, and for him to be that before he's Two-Face, just rubs me the wrong way just slightly. Now, I'm fine with his wife, kind of being involved in it and being a part of the Holiday Killer. It's an interesting dynamic to add in there because we never really hear about her in other comic books. It was kind of cool, but the idea of Harvey Dent being that, to me, it kind of takes away from the cool, drastic change that Harvey Dent goes through when he becomes Two-Face. Because, we tend to have a general knowledge that Harvey Dent was a proponent of justice before he was Two-Face, right? He was a man who fought with Batman and Harvey Dent to try to clean up the streets of Gotham, to try to get rid of the crime families, and was just a very stand-up guy. And in fact, in the Dark Knight movie, he is called a White Knight instead of a Dark Knight. And so he's a guy that can really be in the system and help make change. And so the idea of him possibly being the Holiday Killer before he becomes Two-Face just kind of rubs me wrong, because it changes that dynamic. It changes the interesting aspect of that character changing so fast and in such a dramatic way, having that mental, switch turn in his head when he becomes Two-Face. I always found that really intriguing about Harvey Dent, but again, with this storyline, it's just a little interesting in my opinion. I'm not necessarily saying it's bad, it's just I have my own perception of Two-Face and how he is and his mental state, and so when that was thrown at me, I was just a little bit thrown off. But again, I do still highly recommend this comic book. It's fantastic. It's got great storyline and immerses a lot of the crime families as well. You get to really expand even more beyond the basic villains that Batman usually has in a comic book storyline. And so that's my review/video for Batman Day. Hope you guys enjoyed your Batman Day. Let me know what kind of comic book you guys would like for me to review next. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I'm really hoping to get up to 100 subscribers. I'm at about 84 right now. And thank you guys so much for those of you guys who have subscribed. But the goal is now 100. Definitely help out with that. Would really appreciate it. Follow me on these social media pages as well. And I'll see you guys next time.